No, good
No?
morning. No, this is it. Good morning, guys. I thought I
Good
pressed on the
morning.
live button. We did this whole countdown, and I'm like, "Oh, we're not live yet. I didn't press hard enough. This is great. How is everybody on this
That
Friday?
was
It's
funny.
actually a beautiful Friday. I want to play hockey before
It
it
is.
rains
It's a
tomorrow.
good Friday to
I
be
know.
in.
Yeah.
It's a nice warm fall day.
Yes.
Yeah, the
Indian
weather
summer.
changed. It's nice and
Yeah.
sunny now. It's
Yeah.
not cool,
Yeah.
but
All right.
winter is coming.
Yeah, so we've been discussing a lot of things as far as helping new agents, helping experienced agents. Sometimes they're a little bit in a funk, or sometimes you just want to do things differently. So last week we discussed bringing value to those leads. Hopefully, like converting those leads into actually those contacts into leads. That's going to turn into actual clients. And I did like um, the phrase you used, Israel. It was going from contacts to contract.
Of
That's what we
course.
want to
Yeah.
do. Yeah, yeah.
Ooh,
All
contact
right.
contracts. That's nice.
So yeah, so I get every
Yeah.
day a lot of texts and phone calls from agents and stuff. You know how we help each other in our organization. And we've been discussing a lot of conceptual things as far as bringing value and stuff, but the some agents really want to know, like, what do I say to this buyer when this or that, what do I say? So I figured, um you know and we discussed going over objections. I figured it would probably be good to actually give our audience some scripts as a guideline. You can use the words, your words, but just, we're using some objection handlers. It doesn't have to be used verbatim. You can use your own language as long as your buyer gets the point. It's great, right?
Right.
Right. So today's, are we sharing that thing? No, we're not. Should we go over? Yes, thank you very much. So today, buyer objection handlers, you can apply right now. Yes, and I changed a little bit on the design. I don't know. I felt like it looks like something you're ready to unwrap, right? It's not
You-
too. Yeah, we'll work. We'll still work on
I
the
like it.
design.
You're getting
I know.
creative. This was nice.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right. I wasn't too sure. I'm like, let me try
This is a
that.
step in the right direction.
Yes, yeah, and we'll welcome your anybody's ideas on how we can make our look better. Looking for a certain font, looking for a certain design. We actually should have a really still unwrap logo, so that's going to take a lot of work,
Right.
but we'll eventually do it, right? So before we even go over the objections, I thought it would be great to discuss basically how to handle those objections. Getting your mindset right, what kind of language to use. Um,
So real
yeah,
quick, Luigi, I know you guys have it set right there. So we kind of touched on this before,
yeah,
Israel. I know you did. You broke this down a little bit further, but the
Right.
objection versus conditions, right?
yes.
So it could be conditions and concerns. Objections are really pretty much
Hello. Oh, Israel.
Oh, we lost
Can
them.
you hear
Oh
me?
yeah. We
Now
you
we can.
just we you just went blank for like two
You
seconds.
actually slowed down,
That's
and
weird.
then
I'm
and
using a
then you
new
picked
thing
up.
today. So, um, again, it is based on a smoke screen. Again, an objection is just something that a defense mechanism that most prospects would use in order to say, "Hey, listen, I'm not ready to work with you right now. Maybe I'll work with you later." Versus
Yeah.
conditions is more like, "I lost my job. My child's just started school. I'm not ready to move yet. I don't
Yeah.
have enough money to get out of here." Little
Yeah.
things like that where you really can't control the process of them moving or moving
Right.
forward.
Yes. Actually, I had like the official definition. It's conditions are constraints, right? Something you cannot change, of course, right? it's that thing you cannot handle. Is like if they have a timeline, if they lost their job, or if they have to start a new job at a certain date, those are conditioned, right? Goes for buyers or for sellers. Their condition would be how much they can afford, right?
Right.
They cannot go above certain monthly payments. The condition would be, yes, the schools and everything, and the objections, those are things that you can handle. And you're right, there are resistance to our value proposition. Like we discussed value last week, I just wanted to lead on from value to objection, right? It's like example of examples of objections. Like we don't want to work with you. That's an objection. This is not a condition. They can change their mind if they decide that they like you. And then when they get to know you better, right? That's a good thing. A condition would be if they're not interested or they don't have to sell at this present time, like, or they don't have to buy, you could have like somebody who is looking into your website and they're just looking. They have no money, no timeline to purchase, no nothing. That
a condition, or is that more of a gray line of a objection?
It's a gray line, but at the moment, let's say they're just, if they just appear just because they saw something that was pretty and they really have no interest, I think if there is no interest in buying, that's a condition, right? No? Yes?
I don't know.
Or that's too gray, or that's something that you can develop.
I think that's more of an objection, because if you're saying that you're going into my website or any website just to see how the market is doing, then you have some sort of interest of knowing either how your home is or what kind of home you can buy in the future, or maybe see what kind of ideas there can be for you to buy in the near future. So I mean, for me, me, a condition is more of something that is actually something that can really stop them from proceeding forward. And for you to just say that you're looking at the website, I think it's more of a person who's nosy, I guess, or just curious.
Yeah. And you see, like for me, this is where do you want to nurture someone for 10 years until they're ready to buy? Like, this is for me, like, do you want to keep, it's a decision. Like, so for me, that's a condition. If you're not going to be ready, like getting your ducks in order to get all your financials in order and get your paperwork and stuff like that, and you have really no intention of buying, and you don't really want to go through the qualification process, do I want to keep basically following up with you? That's a lot of work. I mean, that's a decision that anybody can take, right? Some agents are great at this. Personally, I'm not. Short term. Right.
The good news is that we do have CRMs that will take care of that.
Right.
So right. But do you want to have 10,000 people in your CRM? I mean, you could.
I mean, if 10,000 people led me to 10 people that were interested in either buying, selling, or investing in real estate, then yeah, why not? But through our CRM, we can set them up on a program, but it'll touch on them.
Okay.
Right. And always keep in mind that no matter what list you're working from, whether it's 10 people to 1,000 to 10,000, 90% of them is always going to be no. So you're always going to run into a little bit of that.
Again, guys, it's up to you. I'm actually going to bring up Alex Facilani's comment. He would actually keep them into KV Core. You, Israel, would do it. Me, out. It's like, come back another time when you are ready. Because right now, I can't deal with you.
No, actually, I don't see it that way. I mean, you have to understand. Think of it this way. Think of it as a neighbor that you have next door to you that you've lived near for 5 years. That all of a sudden now they're ready to move. That's all you really have. Just somebody on your contact list. Think of how many people you have on your phone that you haven't really reached out. I'm sure you have over 800 people on that phone. I'm sure some of them have been there for 3-4 years. and yet are you going to take them out because all of a sudden you haven't spoken to them? No, just leave them there. Don't worry about it. You'll nurture them little by little. And then what happens with a tree? You plant a tree, and how long does it take to actually be, to get nice and big? It takes years, right? Years, almost a decade. So the point is, I will leave them there. Just leave them and keep working with them.
Okay. I personally wouldn't. What would you do, Ed? What are you doing with those?
That same thing. Put them in KV Core. Let KV Core touch on them. Every time they respond, you get an alert on your phone. So if they respond and say, yeah, sure, tomorrow I'm available, and you get that response, now you can connect with them. So you didn't waste. I wouldn't say you're wasting time or energy. You're just putting them into something that's a lot easier. It's computer. It's like that's the world that we live in right now. You put something in the computer and you let that automatically take.
Right.
It's get life. Yes.
I don't mind dealing with the people when they're ready to deal with people, right? Because every time we encounter somebody and they have an issue, that's when they want to speak to somebody, right?
Wow.
Problem. Now I need to speak to somebody. So when they're ready to speak and there's an issue, great. Let's talk about it. I'll provide the solution.
Right. That's a good way of putting it.
All right. So let's talk about mindset. Okay, mindset on how to handle those objections.
Mindset on handling the objections.
Yes.
I like
that. What's like you're going to know that. All right. When you're faced with an objection, your mindset is not to want to. I don't necessarily myself. I'm going to put myself in again. Am I going to be like, so trying to get over that objections no matter what, right? Or I'm just going to try to understand where my customer is coming from, right?
Correct.
Correct. What do you...
I don't know. You go ahead, Ed. What you were about to say?
Look, honestly, when it comes down to the mindset, and I remember taking that in sales courses in the past.
Yeah.
But you can't. We're doing business. You can't really take it to the heart, right?
Right.
If something happens out in the field, understand something. And I've said it before, right? It's like you have to try to work with these individuals and have them open up to you. But then when they get defensive, take a step back, take a deep breath, think about what they actually are saying and try to decode it, because sometimes they're blowing smoke from the first round. Right. So ask them why, you know what I mean? But understand that when these people are getting defensive, or when these people, I guess, don't know what we know and what we look at as common sense, you just have to kind of, again, take a step back and then just generate that idea, that thought process. It's okay. Right. It's they're not directing this energy to me. They just might feel frustrated.
But that's how it feels too, especially when you're brand new.
Yeah.
You might feel like, oh my God, they don't like me. What am I doing wrong? And it's not you, so you have to come from that position, say, here, it's not me, they don't know me. So yes, we're gonna have a little bit of a resistance and a barrier here. It's just like when we're preparing this, you're going into a store, like for me, I'm going into a store, and then sales lady comes in, hey, do you want to try this thing? Can I help you with anything? No, lady, just like, leave me alone. Let me just get a feel of what's up here. Let me see what you got, And I think it's the same thing, when somebody goes into your website, whether they are seriously looking or not, right? No.
I don't know. To me, I agree with what Edward says as far as mindset. It's really, you just can't take it to heart. You just have to go in there knowing that does it make sense for you and that person to work, to work together? Does it make sense to see if we can build a relationship in helping you get to that next level? You just have to go into that mindset with a little bit of, more of an idea of, listen, I'm actually just here to help you, and if you need it, great. If you don't, then forget about it. Right. And to go back to that one point that you made as far as when you go to a store, imagine the salesperson, having these two different mindsets, or different languages at least, right? In the sense of saying, how can I help you? Our first answer is, I don't need help, right? And then if they said, what brought you to the store today? then here you are with a different conversation, and now you're trying to get a relationship of what's going on in order
Right.
to try to help them get to the goal that they're looking for.
Right.
So I like that you
this
said
leads
that.
us to language, like the words you use and how non-offensive and how open basically you're going to be to bringing a positive response.
Exactly. So it's
Right.
really, you're going to get a lot of people, because the first thing that everybody as a buyer, they just want a certain thing. They want to get to it quickly. But no matter what, you just got to, hey, listen, I'm here to help you out. Let's just work together on this. Let me find out how I can help
Right.
you.
Right.
And that's the mindset you have to go in there. You just can't
Right.
think that everybody who you talk to is a home run, right? But
Right.
at the same time, you just can't think that everybody you talk to hates you. So,
No, I know. Yeah,
you
yeah.
gotta-
But
you gotta
I've
just gotta
heard
have a
it.
good
I've
mindset.
heard it from agents who
Yeah.
don't seem to get over that hump where, it's like taking it too personal because
Of
of the
course.
constant rejection
Yeah.
of some leads. Yes.
I've always believed in this one little metaphor I always use, which is, take your rejections like water on a duck's feather.
Oh.
And if you ever seen water on a duck's feather, it just repels and just walks away. It just goes away.
Yeah.
So if you take those kind of rejections that way, you'll be fine. Just move on to the next.
So yes, in the language, like find ways where you open, like, how can I help you? May I help you today? Answer is no. Don't
Right.
help me. Thank you. It's like, yes. So what brought you to my site today? What caught your attention?
Yeah.
Like I think like find some ways to, or if they're calling directly to you, what did you like about the house? That made you want to call me. I know. So now it's not like, oh, let me just try to get at him. It's like, oh yeah, it's about me and how I feel and what I saw and so on and so forth. So yes,
Right.
I think the person is gonna be more open. And then we had the same thing, like shut the heck up and listen and approve. I think yes, buyers, leads don't want to feel like they're wrong. Even
Right.
on their objection. Right, you have to be again empathize. We're using that word empathize on that list, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, you ask. Remember, always ask questions. Don't assume anything. Always ask questions. Don't think that you know the answers to everything. So once you're asking that question, whatever the question is, whatever relationship building or rapport you're building with them, I mean,
Right.
approve it. Repeat and approve. It's not
Right.
a bad thing, because that at least lets them know that you're listening.
Right. So even when they throw an objection at you, like that buyer needs to feel validated no matter what.
Of course.
Like we had an example last week. Oh, you're less than 5 years in the business. I do understand your concern. But let me assure you, Mr. Buyer or Mr. Seller, that I do have a team of really experts behind me. I have this team leader, or I am an expert in the area, and I've been dealing with co-ops or condo, or my background is in title. I'm using some of our friends' examples, like validate, and then you can build up on that, right?
Yeah.
So what else did we have?
You touched on being honest right there too. Like you said, just again, be clear, be precise.
Right.
On the information. That's all you can do now, Dane. Because we have the information at our fingertips, you can now just literally sound like a professional and look and sound like you know what you're talking about when you sit in front of that client. And you should always have in your mind that you know more than them, period.
Right. And then the be honest thing. So let's say you have a buyer and they're looking at, they saw something online and you're trying to get them into the house, and their objection is, well, the house is next to a garbage dump. You can't say, oh, but it's just fertilizer, it's organic material. You have to be honest. A dump is a dump, and if that location doesn't work, it's like, can we get over that objection? Is the dump, the garbage dumpster more important than the way the house look? Can this garbage dump or this big pile of public discharge gonna be moved at some point or covered? You know what I'm saying? But you can't just say, oh no, this is not it, right? or if there is a roof that has been blown off through the last hurricane and hasn't been fixed up, it is what it is. Yes, it is, So again.
Well, let me piggyback on that for 2 seconds. So pretty much, yes, be honest, but if you don't know the answer, you don't know the answer.
Yes.
All right.
Definitely.
Don't fluff the answer. Don't say you know the answer by saying something, because what can happen is that you'll probably be deemed on that. People will probably say, "Wait a minute, you said this was this and that." So you definitely want to make sure that if you know the answer, there's a bus in the area, a train in the area, there's a garbage junkyard in the area.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just making an example.
I'll use the same example. Then just again be honest, but once again, if you don't know it, don't say anything.
Right. Don't say anything. And the best way is like I'll definitely be happy to get back to you on this. I want to get more clarity. Don't have to say I don't know. I'm going to get more clarity on this for you. Okay. Right. I'm going to do a little bit more research so I can just bring you exactly what's going on. And that's that. And then what did we have? Tell stories in a sense that use past experience. When somebody said, oh, I had this, I don't want to, we're going to go over those objections. I don't want to.
Here's a good story to tell.
What is it?
Here's a good story to tell.
Yeah, go ahead.
When they tell you that they want to see the house first and they'll get the paperwork later and everything is good and credit is good. And a story that I like to tell because, again, like we said before, be honest, this actually happened in the very beginning.
To you.
Yes.
Yes.
In the very, very beginning, I was, hey, this person said he was pre-approved, so I was taking him around. Long story short, we saw like 9 houses, okay? He fell in love with one, and then we had to get him fully qualified. He didn't submit all his documents. It took him almost 2 weeks to do it. Long story short, the buyer was prepared 2 weeks later, and when we went back to the property was already under contract.
Yes.
So the buyer fell in love with the place, and then he looked at me like I was the one that did something wrong, when from the beginning, I told him we need to have everything organized. So I don't want that to happen to you.
Exactly. So those are great past experiences that you can actually use to overcome the objections. Right. And when you actually network with a lot of people, pay attention, like when you network with other agents, pay attention to their stories as well. Because when you don't have your own stories yet, right? So you can use other people's stories, but make sure you use them right. Okay. And you can actually say, oh, this happened to my partner the other day. This is what happened. And those stories, people will relate to it more, and it's going to be easier to get over that objection. And we all agree on that, right?
Right.
I'm glad you said that. It has to be relatable.
Oh,
Don't
definitely.
Start telling stories that have nothing to do with the property that you're looking at, with why they're trying to move. You know what I mean? Like,
but a story could also be something you read, an article you read, or a podcast you heard, or or you were at a training and you heard it. So as long as somebody can relate to some facts and things you're saying, it doesn't have to necessarily be the experience. It could be the experience of what you heard or read or seen, right? I hope it's clear for everybody, right? It should be. Yes. And if we missed something, please, guys, feel free to just add up in the comments. We'll be glad to go over it. Again, this is not an exact science. We're dealing with people and feelings and our own personalities, their personalities. So there is a lot of intricate parts in there. Yes. All right. Yes. What do we have here? We're not missing out on everybody, right? All right, let's go to
somebody's
the next.
Not approved, so congratulations.
Oh yeah, we like that. All right, so maybe we can go in details if we have enough time. We have about 8 objections we wanted to cover. We'll cover whatever we can because we don't want to go too much. It's already like 11:25. Wow. Anyway, so we have this. Oh, I was just looking. I was just curious. I'm on your site, or and then you see, or I clicked on this Facebook link. about, because you guys did a what you call that? Let's say I'm losing my English again. You know the
Which one?
What?
the links from your website. The English, please.
Squeeze page? Are we talking about squeeze page? Squeeze pages?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Thank
I'm
you.
like, I'm like, what?
Right.
It's not
Okay.
12 yet. This is horrible. No English.
Okay. It's all right.
Look, I came across this article and it kind of touched on that a little bit. So it said,
Yeah.
again, like I'm just looking for right now. So even though there might not be a timeline far out, they've
Yeah.
still shown some interest in real estate. So you can
Yeah.
still gather the reasons why they're searching, right?
Right.
So here's an example that was given. I love looking at homes too. It's why I got in the business. What made you decide to look at homes today?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, you can. I just put in like in simple words. Yeah, I see. What exactly is that you're looking for? And then you can move on to other stuff. But again, nothing is an exact science. What is it that made you start looking at that? Because yes, of course, it's fun to look at houses on the market, especially now that the market is hot. What made you start looking at that, right? And then another one would be, yes, it is fun to check what's on the market once in a while. And if you were ready, Mr. Buyer, to make a purchase, what would your ideal home look like? Is there a part of you that's searching because you want to find your next perfect home? Like opening up, making them imagine, visualize something, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You guys have something else? Yeah, maybe I don't know. I mean, those are the words we're using. Actually, we used it. We use different sources to find those scripts. If you guys have other rebuttals or other conversation openers, you can get from that question, from that objection. I'm just curious. I'm just looking. Please feel free to share with us.
Yeah.
Let me see what we got.
I think
Nobody.
when somebody pops up and they're just saying that they're curious or they're just looking, I think those are the individuals that we can easily, I guess, create kind of like an imagination or dream with them as to what that property would look like. So yeah, these are great questions, but I feel like as you open that door, they'll start to pour everything out. They might not be ready, but they'll tell you why. They'll probably tell you why they feel that they're not ready. You know what I mean? They might say that there's things that they have to organize beforehand. Okay, how long do you think, or how long do you feel that might take for you to complete? And then sometimes they're like, I'm really not sure. Well, sometimes I feel that it's good to give them a time, right? Like a month out, like, oh, you're not sure? No, not really. Would you prefer to be in there 3 months from now? Would you prefer to be in there before the next school season starts? Would you prefer to be in there before winter hits? Would you prefer to, you know what I mean? These are ideas that you can now kind of put them all together, because that's what they need, right? They need the proper guidance.
A conversation. I mean, you need to be there because you genuinely are interested in that person and their need to eventually buy something, right? So why not me? This is probably the worst. I'm just curious. I'm just looking. I'm not ready. I will go next. Yes. And it's okay. It's okay.
Understand that you can be in different positions in this business, right? If you're somebody who's brand new, maybe that's not somebody you would kick to the curb.
No, of course not.
But I honestly believe that these are the individuals that you can practice with, right? Like that script that no one wants to read because they're scared to read it. When you come across somebody that's just looking, I think you should utilize that moment to go through that script. Oh, you're just looking for now? Well, hey, be a little, if you want to make it comical, I would probably say, oh, you're just looking? No worries. Hey, do you want to just help me out with this script? Let me just read this over to you. That way I can get better and craft and they might laugh at it like, what? Some of them might say, no, I don't have time for this crap. Like, all right, fine, whatever. But you know what? If they start laughing at it, I feel, for me, it's like, okay, we've broke the ice. Now we can get to some serious questions if you wanted to, and they might actually answer those questions.
Yeah.
I mean, another way that I've actually done is, it goes back to the retail store nonsense thing. And what I was saying is, once they go in there, it's one of those. So what caught your attention? What which unit, which home caught your attention? And hopefully it's a unit or home that you may know about, right? Oh, I saw this 2-bedroom. Oh man, that's awesome. In Forest Hills, that's great. Let's talk about that a little more. How soon were you thinking about moving? Then you go into questions. How strong is you find out their motivations. And again, if it comes out to the point of 5 years, let's do this. Let's give me about 15 minutes. Let me strategize a good plan for you. For that, in 5 years or maybe less, we'll be able to get you a 2-bedroom that you're looking for. Or how about if I bounce some few thoughts in through you, and what do you think we should do this and do that? So there's different ways you can go by it. But you generally want to just sort of find the engaging way to actually get them into talking to you and see how motivated they really are to go forward.
All right. Okay, so the next one is I want to work directly with the listing agent. Oh, I thought you were the listing agent. I saw this property. I love it. You're not the listing agent? I don't want to work with you. So we're getting a lot of those, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes we're like, oh, but I can give you so much service. Oh, but so I am on the wrong seat to answer this question because I'm mainly a listing agent, and buyers usually come to me, but so I would want your input, guys, on this one, because to me, I just put those couple of things together on the screen, but I want you, Ed and Israel, to just go over what you would do as a buyer agent, as a strong buyer agent, because I am not. So this is what I had put, and I just want you to just make it better. All right. I say, okay, I totally understand. Did you know that when you go directly to the listing agent, you're giving up your right to be represented by a buyer's agent? And remember that listing agent is most of the time in a legal relationship with the seller. What do I mean by this? They have a fiduciary duty to the seller. They owe the seller not only confidentiality, loyalty, obedience, and much more, like care, disclosure. You could go through everything, right? The seller will always trump yours. They always come before yours, and many times it is to your detriment, right? And one last thing to consider, Mr. Buyer, you may not be the only buyer thinking the same thing, that you want to go directly to the listing agent. There could be many other buyers taking the same approach, but you think you may have an inside track, and yet the listing agent owes no one any loyalty but the sellers. You're basically on your own. Do you have the skill set, knowledge, confidence to buy and negotiate and manage the process by yourself, Mr. Buyer? Maybe it's too harsh, right? But that's how I feel,
Yeah. So I don't know how you feel, but I think it's a little bit long-winded.
It's very long,
right?
It's very long because it doesn't happen to me. But those are the things to consider when you're just out there. Do you want to have to deal with a listing agent like myself, who's ultimately, I'm going to try to squeeze the most out of you? The most, regardless.
Well, so let me jump in real quick.
Yeah.
So pretty much, there was a training that we had years ago, and I used this one a couple times, and it worked. When I hear that, I say, I was actually hired by the listing agent themselves to actually find buyers like yourself. So tell me a little more as to what you were looking at and what you liked about this unit. And then I go from there, right? And then another one I use is, wow, I'm surprised you actually want to speak to a listing agent. It seems like you want to pay top dollars for this particular house.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Have you ever bought something, and then when they say that again, it's like, have you ever bought, and just a quick question, have you ever bought anything full price when it comes to buying a house? And they'll say yes or no, right? Obviously, when they say no, then this is exactly what the seller wants you to do. The listing agent wants you to pay top dollars. Wouldn't you want somebody to help you not pay top dollars? They'll say yes. Then you move forward from that point of the buyer's agent side. So then that's how I do it. So what do you do?
Should we write them down and put them on the screen? Because I think maybe, those are pretty good. Those are things that I would not. Again, I'm the loudest person to just deal with that rebuttal.
Yeah. what I add to that honestly is I asked them questions, right? Like why? Like, okay, you want to work directly with the listing agent. Why do you feel that that's the right move for you? Oh, because that way they don't have to share the commission. Oh,
Really?
so you care more about the real estate agent making top commission on the sale of this property than protecting yourself and maybe saving yourself some money? So you care more about the agent's pocket than your own pocket?
Or sometimes they say, we can save on the buyer's commission side. Like the listing agent is just gonna get there, and they're gonna discount the commission, and it's like, uh, really? No. No, because you not only you're going to be working your seller side, doing all the work that you have to do to make sure this house is marketed properly for you, Mr. Buyer, to come in and take a look at it. And then you want me to not get paid for the work I'm going to go and do for you? I don't think so.
Yeah. So that is what I would call a reactive response.
I agree.
No,
That
but
is someone
nicely.
who is defending the ground and defending their turf, and they're like, "Oh hell no, you are not gonna walk all over me." You know what I mean?
But
Like,
I mean, a great way of putting it is like, is it more important to you to for the service that you receive or more money that you save?
Right.
Is it more important?
Yeah.
Which one's more important to you? And then you just go from there. So
Right, because definitely dealing with the listing agent, yes, you could still get some service, but understand, I mean, the fiduciary duty, legal responsibility is not to you, Mr. Buyer.
right.
So yes, the listing agent will go through the motion. Yes, but they're not going to be hand holding. They're not going to have to feel that your interest is first. The seller's interest is first.
Right.
You know, you're not going to have a tailored experience as you would have with a buyer's agent.
No, you won't.
Right. And that's what you have to come across. Do you you want to put in the comments your couple of first answers, Israel? I thought they were great.
I don't know. Can I write on?
Whenever you can. Whenever you can.
I don't
All
think.
right.
Yeah. Okay. I'll do that when we're done.
Sure. We are not ready to work with an agent yet. We're just gonna do the search on our own. We're seeing you put those open houses, dates. We're gonna go on our own. This is also a good one, right?
Not
Yeah,
worrying
I like
to
that
work
one.
with agents. When are you?
My response is like, okay, thank you. Delete.
Wow.
I know. So here is my wrong response. This is probably too winded of my response because I am not a buyer's agent. And this is how I see it on my perspective. And I want you guys again to get your
Well,
own
you know what,
perspective.
TG,
Yeah.
the thing is, even though it's a two-way street, even if a seller would say the same thing to you, you obviously will combat that and just try to have them work with you under that service, right? So
Yes.
So
no, I mean,
that,
if somebody say I don't want to work with an agent, well, if I'm the listing agent, sure. I mean, they're gonna come and work with us.
Right.
But if you're the buyer's agent, it's like, oh, okay. How do you plan on nicely again, like empathetically? How do you plan on finding your next home? Like, why don't I look at all the homes that are for sale right now that meet your criteria on the computer first, and then I send them to you, and then you can contact me to show you the ones you like. You can still do stuff on your own. You know what I'm saying? And maybe open that up. And then, and open up the conversation to later. Have you met a lender to see what price range and monthly payment you can afford? Like, are you really know, since you want to do things on your own, like, do you have the tools to just start looking on your own? And then go back with the stories. Many of my clients felt the same way at first, then after spending hours driving around the houses they found online, they got tired and frustrated. And those even putting offers that they wouldn't get. So why not letting me set you up on your own custom online search, and then we'll only look at homes that fit exactly what you're looking for, right? And when you find the one you see it, just see, or when we can get inside, and we just present an offer.
Yeah. I mean, really,
What do you guys say?
I feel like it always comes down to asking them why. You know what I
Right.
mean? It could be something so simple, something so minute, something that you can just take care of and adjust at that very moment, something that they could have had that was probably miscommunicated, misinformation that they're going off
Right.
of. Because that's really what it always comes down to, right? How many times have we dealt with a buyer or a seller that always comes in and says, oh, you know, my friend knows somebody who knows somebody else that said that they didn't have to pay the buyer's commission. You know what I mean? Or I know somebody that said that they had a realtor when they sold their house back in 1982. They weren't charging that much in commission. You know what I mean? So it's always I feel like you always have to find out the reasons behind it. So if they tell you I don't want to work with an agent, I'm sorry you feel that way. If you don't mind me asking, why? Why don't you want to work with an agent?
And, you know, it's funny you brought that in as far as this 1982 thing that you brought in. So to me, it looks like we're in this 2021 technology savvy world and getting even savvier by the minute. And you have a lot of that public perception of real estate agents that is the same as 35 years ago, right? 40 years ago now, because 1982 would be almost 10. Yeah, 40 years ago. So yeah, I mean, and where real estate agents didn't have anything on the computer and would try to grab any leads and any buyers they could. It doesn't have to be this way, but this is the perceptions people still have, you know. And all we're trying to do here is maybe not be as grabby as, you know, and salesy as we were before, because we don't have to, because everything is out there for the public to see. The consumer is extremely educated, and we're going to be there to guide them. You know, it's not going to be, oh, let me just help you. I'm just a real estate agent, I know everything about the sales process. It doesn't work like that anymore. Those buyers know as pretty much, almost as much as you know on paper. They just haven't gone through the experience, and there are some stuff they're not expecting, you know. And emotionally they have to be supported, I think.
So
you know, and they have
yeah, and I agree. I mean, if you do that, adding the emotion and adding value, that would be an exceptional thing. So something that I've done in the past as well, which is pretty much a question like that is, how long have you been doing it? I mean, how long have you been going out there and not wanting to work with an agent? They'll let you know. They'll say, hey, I've been doing this all throughout, or I've been doing this for
how is this working for you? Did you
how
many houses did you buy?
You know, how's your experience been so far? You know, what's going on? How would you like to customize your experience when working with an agent? How is it, you know, and we can both strategize a great way for you to find a home for a shorter amount of time at the price that you're looking for.
Okay, let's use here. I want to show Way's comment on the listing agent question we had back before. She says the buyer thinks that the listing agent will give more information about the seller and how what the seller is thinking as far as probably price and so on and so forth, that they would, you know, they would go for. How basically they think that, okay, this is the best offer, this is what we want to accept. The buyer has a fluke attitude. So okay, I guess now we're getting this is more even of this is what Wei is experiencing in her market with the buyers she deals with. And I've seen it where, you know, a lot of the people would think that this listing agent is going to tell me how much the seller is going to accept. This listing agent is going to tell me that the seller is getting divorced and they got to sell. They have the judge is ordering the sale to happen within the next 6 months, you know. And this is like, again, the misconception. Again, the fiduciary duty is not to you, Mr. Buyer. The listing agent is not going to disclose some information. Like legally, yes, if it's for stigmatized property or whatever, or things like that happen, or there is radon into the ground, yes, they have to disclose it. But when it comes to personal information from that seller, hell no.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, buyers, I worked with buyers like that too. And buyers always think that because you're working with listing agents, as you just said right now, they think they're getting the inside track of that. they think they're going to get a discount because they now know that they're working directly with someone else, that they're not working with a broker for their best interest. You know, look, I'm a listing agent myself in the sense that I keep getting all day and every day. What's the seller looking for? How much does the seller wants to pay for? And I'm like, well, full price and up. What do you want to pay? It's like, you know, it's full price and up. Let's go.
Yeah, that's it.
Discount price.
It's usually up.
Right?
You know,
like full price and up, just wherever you want to go, and not a penny less. So the point is, they're always asking, hey, can I get that inside track? I'm not working with anybody. I'm working, you know, you're going to get more commission this way. I mean, look, those greedy agents out there that want to do it and always.
It may happen. You may have agents that are not very ethical that will just give out, you know, their sellers. It happens.
It happens, but the point is that just like in any part of the industry, if you look at it this way, you always have two sides to every coin. And if you don't have that one side protecting you and your interests and your fiduciary, then you're pretty much lost. You're just, you know, saying, hey, fine, I'll pay whatever I can pay for this. Not knowing that they might have inflated the price of that unit or that house where you should be paying this amount versus the other amount.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the next one, because I think we're...
Yes. Okay. You guys can cover this one. Why do you need the pre-approval? Just show me the house.
Yeah, you got it.
Listen, I'm going to show you my office and we could sit down with a lender and get you pre-approved if that's what you want to do. You know, look, honestly, again, what I always like to do is put it on to the next person. I like to say, hey, look, I'd love to show you the house. When do you want to see the house? This date. I get all the information I need. Okay, when, you know, and are you looking to purchase all cash, or are you looking to take out a mortgage? Oh no, I gotta take out a mortgage. Did you speak to a lender already? No, not yet, but I'm good. Show me the house. Honestly, I think we should speak to a lender first, in my opinion. The reason why I say that is also the sellers are looking to show the property to someone who is already approved.
In this market, in this age of COVID, I think unfortunately a lot of buyers still feel they don't need this, but unfortunately we have to go through the motions because of COVID safety issues and stuff. Listing agents don't want to have to deal with lookers. So they just going to bring into the house somebody who's qualified.
Yeah.
All right.
All the way.
All right. So this was my rebuttal, you know, like a couple of points I would bring, maybe not scripted like this. So these are like few very important reasons why being pre-approved is a strong benefit to you, aside from the listing agent wanting to see it before we even get into the house. So first, you'll know exactly the right price range for your purchase. You'll know exactly the type of monthly payments. Second of all, errors on your credit reports are common. So you can basically correct those errors right now without putting your earnest money deposit on the house at risk, right? So at least you can prevent some things from happening. Third, sellers are more negotiable with pre-approved buyers and having the proof of funds with it, right? So it's usually they'll see. I've seen offers that are where the lower price actually a month ago, lower price was accepted. Because the sellers were feeling more comfortable with the pre-approval of that buyer versus somebody with a higher offer with credentials that were a little bit weaker.
Yeah.
You know. And then fourth, if there are multiple offers, the sellers are definitely likely to select the buyers pre-approved, proof of funds, making sure everything is in order. You know, those. So just coming with nothing, like fleur bleue, like we say blue flower in French, it doesn't work. What do you guys say? I would, as a new agent, I showed property. Oh my God, I showed hundreds of people without even having their pre-approval. My train of thought, because maybe I'm a D, say, yeah, just let's get out. Let's get as many showing, as much experience as I can. Obviously, if they're looking, yes, they don't have the pre-approval, and this was in the 90s. We'll deal with it later, right? Is it the right solution right now? Don't know. But some people, you can, if after talking to them, they're telling you they have like 40% down, they have the money in the bank of $700,000. You're like, okay, maybe, yeah, I'll take you out. right? Would you take them out, or you're gonna want to see that pre-approval?
In the beginning, the same way you just said it. Look, you might want to meet with them. This is going to teach you, and this is going to put you in a position where you become more knowledgeable of your market. So go out there and go with that intent. Go with that intent of, I'm going to get to know what's out there, what's available. I can interact with other agents. I can go out there and meet people. I can go out there and, some people like producing content on social media. So that gives them that ability. You know what I mean? So in the beginning, if you don't have anything, give it a shot. Try to kind of make that schedule as busy as you can, and then you can start kind of weeding out who is actually not worth your time and who's actually worth your time. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but if somebody is going to tell you, look, I have right now in my bank account, and I've seen it where they're like, let me show you. Here, this is my bank account. You see here, it's $367,000 to $182.57. It's like, wow. I'm not pre-approved, but all this is waiting. This is my down payment. Can you show me the house? Okay. Right?
Yeah,
Why not?
that
Why
happens.
not?
That
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
The minute somebody says something that, oh, look, I got another property that I just finished selling and I have this money, so I'm good to buy all cash. Okay.
Yeah.
How do you really approve or verify someone who then tells you, I'm looking to buy all cash? And that's like Gigi said, they show you the amount and look at my phone.
Sometimes they do, they would. I've seen a lot of people just showing me their statements on their phone. I'm like, okay, okay, it's fine. Just go get pre-approved later. It's fine. Okay. My friend or family, maybe we should run through the last few ones because we have 8 minutes. My friend or family member is an agent. I don't really need to work with you. I'll work with them. That's great. It's like, I'm happy to hear that you really appreciate the value of working with a knowledgeable, full-time professional. And that oftentimes leads to, but my friend is not full-time, he's part-time. He's actually barely part-time. Maybe, when does he work? 1 day a week? Okay. Right? And then you can always say, I often run into people who know someone who's licensed, but they understandably are not comfortable sharing personal and financial information with their friend or family. And that's actually what's going on right now. My Gigi story right here. I have a daughter who is considering buying an apartment. Guess what? I'm not going to be her agent. She's like, Mama, you're not gonna get into my bank account. You're not gonna get into my checking and calculate your DTI. I see what you've been doing for the last 25 years. I'm not doing that. You're not getting into my fiance and my business. I'm like, damn. Right. So she's, even though that's my daughter, and I understand, like, she wants to keep some stuff private. I never shared my bank account information with my kids, and I do understand. So I'm like, I'll back off, And yes, you know what? Family, friends sometimes are not too experienced. So, Mr. Buyer, I'll be more than happy to share a referral fee with your family friend if this is something you really want to do. And it's a win-win for your family or friends to get paid a little commission, and you can work with an experienced agent like myself without your family or your friend knowing your financial business. That's pretty much that.
Yeah, I agree.
Right. And I can tell the story. I do understand. Oh, you do? You want your family or friends? My own daughter doesn't even want to share her financial information with me. And it's true.
That's a valid point.
And I do respect it. I do respect it.
Yeah.
I cannot even refer to her like one of our trusted lender that works with co-ops. She's like, she might tell you everything. I'm like, no, she won't. She's confidential, but that's how they feel, so whatever, to each their own, and if I can find somebody, I'll refer to them, somebody outside of my circle, and be happy, to help them out this way. Right. I'm looking for a friend, or I'm looking for family. This one, very simple, right?
Yeah, I like this one too.
Oh, looking for
what would you say?
Looking for a friend or family.
Yeah. So me, I'll just say, yeah. Do they live in the area? Okay. Oh, that's very nice. I'm sure they really appreciate the help, because it can be difficult to find the right home right now. By the way, do you know if they hope to move in the next 3 to 6 months? So same thing, like never saying no, always opening up to questions. Like those are the first three maybe questions, and then have other questions asking about the friends, because you never know, and they'll tell you why
Yeah.
they're looking for a friend
Yeah, I agree.
or the family.
There's so many different ways you can go by that. Like, man,
Yeah.
I wish I have friends like you that can go find.
Yeah, or
There's
family
one-
member.
There's one that I came across,
Yeah,
and it says, hey, that's great that you are looking out for your friend or family member. It shows you want the best for them. Fortunate for you, you came across our website. We are ranked in the top 1% of agents in the country. If
Blah,
you
blah,
like,
blah.
I can reach out to your friend and family and send them some helpful information that can save them thousands
Hey.
on purchasing a new home. What's up?
You like this one?
I'm just telling you what I read.
Okay.
I'm passing along the information. That's all I'm doing.
Do you seriously think that the buyer is going to care if you're top 1% on the website?
Listen, first of all, we said it from the beginning. You got to be honest. So if it's not honest, don't put it out there. All right.
Okay.
There's a lot of people that say top agent in Queens, top agent in Long Island.
I hate this. Top what?
They've been agents for 3 months. Top agents in Long Island and Queens. What's going on? But again, honest, I'm just saying, you can always utilize your team, your website. Clearly, you're not going to go with the 1% if you're not a part of it. If you are, fantastic. If you're not, you can switch that up. You know what I mean?
I'm the top 6 foot 56-year-old French woman in my office right now. Yeah.
I mean, again, there's so many ways you can go by it. I mean, the ways I usually do is, again, I just comment on them for doing it, and then I start asking them qualifying questions about their friend, right?
Yeah.
And if they can't answer it, but like, you know what's the best thing for us to do? Let me connect with your friend. I'll ask all the questions, and if you want to come to all the showings, feel free to follow.
And I have some little stories where, like talking to those buyers, come to find out if it's a family, it's really like a relative, like the mom, giving the down payment money.
Yeah.
So yes, she's gonna have big decision power in that,
Of course.
even though and then sometimes you have cultural things as well. I've seen where like the relative wanted to make sure the property is feng shui, like if they have like this true belief, they like the children or the relatives said, you know what, just make sure everything is feng shui, you're gonna live with us, they're not even putting the money, but we want to make sure we have good luck, good fortune in this house.
Exactly.
And it's totally valid, right? Yeah. The next one, let's put that. I think we have, what do we have? Oh, I'm waiting for the perfect home. I'll make a move. I'm just looking. I'm just waiting for the perfect home. What do you say to that, guys?
My short answer to that is, what does that look like?
That's it.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
What does that look
So
like?
just curious, Mr. Yeah, just open up. It's like, great. What does that perfect home look like? I'm just curious. Want to know. Just talk to me about that. Simple, clear. You're very honest. You're like, okay, let's open up that book, right?
Or if you want to nice it up a little more, it's just, what does that look like? I might have seen it yesterday.
Oh, okay.
You can throw out there, what I think you could throw out there too is just, again, to kind of get them thinking about it. Because I think the first thing people do, right, especially when we go out to restaurants, probably, and I know some of you guys do this, don't lie. You look at the price before you look at the food.
No.
What?
No, I look at the food first, man.
I look at the food.
You guys are the biggest liars out there.
No.
Whatever.
No.
The point that I'm trying to make is this.
First of all, I'm going to look at the ratings. I'm going to look at the menu. All right.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't mind spending $400 a plate if it's really like, if I'm really
you
gonna
guys
have
are,
this
man.
No, I'm not saying I'm going to do it on a weekly basis, but it's not based on that.
Listen, you guys will put up on whatever these websites are. I'm not going to shout them out because we're not getting paid by them. But all right, you guys will search the website, and I know we all look at reviews. Long story short, we also look to see the dollar signs, and if it has $3 signs or more, we're going to be like, whoa, that's a little expensive. I'm going to go over here. All right. So let's not even act like we don't look at it. But the point that I'm trying to make
I don't see it. I'm a big
before I lose my idea, All right. Before I lose my train of thought, all right. This was what I was trying to get to. What I was trying to get to was if you tell the buyer, look, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, if you were looking for the perfect home and money wasn't an option, what would that look like? Where
Okay.
would that be? What would
Yeah.
it have?
No, you're
What would
right.
you
You're
want
right.
inside of it?
Yeah.
How would you like that to look? You know what I mean? That's what I was trying to get to. But you guys are funny. You guys
We're
clearly
not funny
you guys
because
clearly look at the ratings and oh my god, I'm gonna go to the top rated Michelin restaurant
No, it
in
has
New York
nothing to do
City
with that. I mean,
because
honestly, it's
I do. I would, if I can get on the wait list and be able to have the experience, I would.
so then what do we do? What about what is it? I'm not even gonna say
Nerve.
his restaurant's name either. I've seen
Jean-Georges
Instagram posts.
Engaged. Yeah.
What?
What about the Mr. State guy?
Yeah, I've seen Instagram posts of their bills. How come we're not there yet? How come we haven't
I'm
gone
not.
to
That's
go
that's
for the
spot that I'm not going.
experience, right?
It's
Huh?
just not. That's not the experience I'm looking for. I don't need my.
Ah,
It's not
yeah,
about the
yeah.
bit. Okay.
we'll save that
Alright.
for another topic. How about that?
Yeah. All right. No problem,
Next
guys.
slide.
The last one. I'll call you when I'm ready.
Okay.
Sure. Mine is like, okay, bye.
What?
That's when they
quick
all
answer
fall
to
by
that
the
is,
wayside.
what would that be? That's all I need to know.
That's a stall, by the way. That's to
Always.
give them time.
Yeah.
It's like they still don't feel you yet. I call you when they're not too sure about you. So this is a stall, guys, and you shouldn't stop on this. I think on this one, when I hear this, it's like I haven't given them enough value. Let me figure out what's up here. Let me try to dig a little bit more, right?
Yeah.
100%.
Are you ready to make an offer when you find something you like?
You're like, yeah.
Wave a wand. What would you? Okay. And okay, what happens if when you find the perfect home and it's sold?
And it's sold.
Move so
Yeah.
fast. I don't want you to miss it.
Exactly. So like we talked about your perfect home. We know what it looks like.
Yeah.
You're gonna say you're gonna call me when you see it. Oh yeah. So by that time on Zillow, Mr.
So really quick for me on
Yeah.
this one is, I usually get the slight aggressive person says I'll call you when I'm good and ready.
Yeah.
Generally, or I'll call you when I'm ready, or somebody who has sort of a small language barrier. I'll call you when I'm ready, kind of thing.
People like me.
My diffuser to all those is when would that be? Let me know so I can get ready by the phone when you're going to call me. When would that be? And when that will be, let me know what kind of house you're looking for so I can have a list ready to go for you.
Yeah.
What price range are you looking for? What areas are you looking for? Right?
Yeah.
Are you looking to move? And then I just go right into it. Start asking questions. And eventually they'll soften up and then just, either hang up on me or just move on to answering questions.
I like the third option because like it's like it's not instilling that fear of loss, but it's definitely there. I mean, especially in this market, it's like I've seen people that even lately that just decided that they would call me, because they've had a real estate license in the past and this and that. And okay, so I'll call you, just show me the property, so I know what I'm doing. And then you've seen this perfect apartment, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, sponsor unit, no board, this and that. And you didn't want me to call you about anything. You're doing your stuff. I'm like, I'm respecting it, dude. I know you for so long. Fine, no problem. But then, when you're ready for it, it's got a half-signed contract, and tomorrow that thing will be put fully on the contract. So you really missed out. Is it my fault?
Well, that goes back to nurturing again. I mean, honestly, what happens if how about if I set up a nice little marketing alert for you for the type of home that you're looking for? This way, when you are ready, call me and I'll set it up for you.
Right.
And this way, they'll let me know what kind of home it is. But it all starts with the mindset, folks. I mean, with you having a good language, you having a good, great positive mindset on that. Whether it's scripted or not, you just want to be able to know and understand that person will work well with you. And again, it's once you ask those questions without having to say so much, you'll be able to find out the information and motivation of that person.
All right. Okay,
We did it,
that's
guys.
it.
We
We
made
did
it.
it a little bit over an hour because
All
there was
right.
a lot to cover. There is plenty more, by the way.
There is.
And yeah, so I'm going to remind you, Israel, to add up a couple of the
Yeah.
videos that you had. There were the juicy ones that we did like. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And yeah, so next week it's going to be, I think we already have a topic, right? It's going to be the 23rd, the 22nd.
Right.
It's 7 days. Thank you, Priscilla. Thank you. Thank you. We're going to discuss what happens at a showing. Do not take my advice, because for me, I'm like, there you go. You've seen it online. Just knock yourself out now. No, it's not as bad. Sometimes it is. I let
We should actually put a skit together, like a quick little video clip going through a showing. We should do that. That would be fun. If you guys are watching right now, let's take a poll. Can we do a poll? You guys that are watching?
Yes.
Would you prefer for us to discuss what happens at a showing, or would you rather see some clips and some reenactments? I would say reenactments of what happens at showings. So throw it in the chat. But outside of that, guys, I mean, you guys definitely delivered a lot of knowledge here. Appreciate it. What I took away from it really is, there's a lot of people that are going to rush to do something, right? Like, okay, fine, let's go see this property right away. But I think if you just pump the brakes a little bit, have a casual conversation and make sure that every question you ask leads to another question, and it helps you. And I always refer to develop an arsenal to help them find the right property. So
we have the results of our little poll. We're gonna have to put a clip together this week.
Oh damn!
On the showing. That's it.
Let's do it. We got a showing, a vacant showing that we can go to. Let's do it. Let's record it. Let's record it.
All right, that's it.
I like it.
All right. Yeah. No problem.
Awesome.
All right, guys. All right. Thank you so much for watching. All right. Until next week. So October 24th, we'll have the showing skits, the what to do and what not to do. All right. See you guys. Have a great weekend. Thank you.
Do we have a track? Do we have a song?
I don't know. You want to sing it?
Song? I'm not gonna sing it.
Okay. I'm not even ready with that. I never think of it. Anyway, guys. All right.
Thank you.
Talk to you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Take care, everybody. Have a good week.